This is the story of a 22-year-old American female foreign correspondent who falls in love with two black men simultaneously, leading to marriage and even pregnancy. Before watching the video, please subscribe and hit the like button. It gives us great strength. Ashley Carter graduated early at the age of 22 from a prestigious East Coast university. Graduating with honors, she was the envy of everyone around her. Since childhood, she possessed an extraordinary curiosity and adventurous spirit, along with a passion for persistently delving into anything that caught her interest. It was thanks to this personality that she was selected as a foreign correspondent for a major news agency at such an early age, making a name for herself by traveling the world and delivering vivid stories. However, despite her seemingly perfect exterior, she had an unquenchable thirst: true love. What was true love? What kind of connection could transform her and make her truly live? This question always lingered in a corner of her heart. Traveling freely through various countries for reporting and investigation meant meeting diverse people, but finding a genuine connection wasn't easy. Then one day, under orders from her company, she headed to the southern region of South Africa. Here, she was tasked with preparing a feature article covering the traditional culture that had persisted until relatively recently, social changes, and unique marriage customs. Specifically, she had obtained information that in certain regions of South Africa, the unfamiliar culture of polyandry, one wife, multiple husbands, was passed down through some tribes. Ashley decided to personally investigate this emerging reality. Through her reporting, she wanted to show that this region was not just the wild safari destination tourists imagined, but a place harboring complex and diverse cultures. Upon arriving in South Africa, Ashley decided to stay in a local rural village. She believed she could write a truly vivid article only by entering the heart of the local residents' lives, not the glittering forest of skyscrapers in the city. Walking across sun-scorched fields, dry yellow grass and red dust clung stubbornly to her shoes and clothes. It was at a small marketplace she stumbled upon during this journey that she met an unexpected connection: Malik, tall and broad-shouldered, and Kai, slim yet possessing remarkable strength. Both were locals from the area, helping foreigners with services like guiding. Seeing Ashley exhausted from the hot weather, the two men offered her a cool drink and smiled. "Is this your first time here? Welcome to this part of South Africa," Malik's low, deep voice reached Ashley's ears. "Yes, I came here to report on the local culture and marriage customs." "It's nice to meet you," she replied. Kai then smiled warmly, as if pleased, and greeted her. "You're from the States, right?" "I know a little about New York. I stayed there briefly as an exchange student." Ashley was surprised. "Really? In NYC?" she asked back. Hearing about her home city in this unfamiliar environment somehow put her mind at ease. From that day on, Ashley Carter began her reporting in earnest, often receiving help from the two men. Malik was quiet and thoughtful, but once he organized his thoughts and started speaking, he displayed accurate and profound insights. Kai, conversely, was talkative and humorous, quickly brightening the atmosphere around him. The three naturally started spending time together, traveling around the village, taking pictures, and interviewing people. As Ashley continued her reporting, she gradually learned about a world she had never imagined. What particularly astonished her was the fact that not only polygyny, one husband, multiple wives, but also polyandry, one wife, multiple husbands, was actually recognized within some tribes. While not fully institutionalized legally, it was granted a degree of customary legitimacy within those tribes due to long-standing tradition. One tribal woman she interviewed said, "We believe love is like the flow of nature. There's no need to dictate that one person must love only one other person. In our community, if people genuinely desire it, they can form a family with multiple partners." As a journalist, Ashley approached this culture with an open mind. At the same time, she harbored questions. Is it truly possible for one woman to be joined with two or more men? Wouldn't there be conflict? If they genuinely respect each other, what kind of outcome awaits? Just then, Malik and Kai mentioned that they were well-versed in the region's traditions and history and offered to guide her in detail if needed. As they traveled together, Ashley began to slowly open her heart to Malik's dependable consideration and Kai's bright, warm personality. Amidst the shock of the unfamiliar culture, Ashley felt a strange sense of relief. Back home in the States, she had been relentlessly driven, weighed down by societal expectations, her duties as a journalist, and her family's hopes. But here, everything felt a bit slower, more relaxed. Being with Malik and Kai made the world feel wider. One day, after exploring a rural area, the three sat resting by a quiet riverbank. The sun beat down fiercely, but a cool breeze brushed against their faces whenever the river wind blew. Kai looked at Ashley shyly. "It's very different from America, isn't it, Ashley? Is it difficult for you?" She shook her head and smiled gently. "No, actually, I feel comfortable in a way. It feels like everything is free here." Then, Malik quietly added, "If you ever have any difficulties, please tell us anytime. We're familiar with the people and culture of this village." Though just kind words, Ashley's heart pounded. She was feeling something more than just rapport with her sources. Kai, too, was always looking out for her safety, even when she wasn't looking, and trying to ensure she was having fun. The two men, different in personality, somehow complemented each other, enveloping Ashley in a strange balance. That night, back in her lodging, Ashley turned on her laptop to organize her notes and suddenly thought, "I came here to report, so why is my heart racing like this? Am I just drawn to the unfamiliar atmosphere? Or am I developing feelings for both of these men simultaneously?" The thought circled endlessly, but finding a clear answer wasn't easy. One weekend, while continuing her research, the three went to watch a festival held in a nearby area. The festival grounds, filled with traditional dance and music, bustled with villagers and tourists. Dancers in vibrant costumes moved rhythmically to the beat of drums, while nearby stalls sold local food, calling out to customers. Ashley's eyes sparkled with curiosity as she snapped photos all around the festival. Kai happily kept time beside her, sometimes dancing spontaneously, sometimes humming along to the melodies. Malik, meanwhile, was relatively quiet, but his deep gaze as he watched the performances on stage was striking. As the festival reached its peak, Ashley felt an intense emotion wash over her, sudden as an accident. When Kai took her hand and suggested, "Let's dance together," she grasped it without hesitation. Letting her body move to the passionate rhythm, a laugh escaped her lips naturally. Later, Malik, who had been watching, approached and gently placed a hand on her waist to help her keep balance. For a brief moment, the three danced together on the stage, almost like a trio performing. After the dance, panting, the three sat down side by side. "Ashley, you dance really well," Kai exclaimed, giving her a thumbs up. Malik just smiled shyly. Ashley felt both men's gazes focused on her, and her heart beat wildly. This isn't journalistic interest, it's definitely attraction between a man and a woman, she realized. Her mind grew complicated, but she didn't want to let go of the happiness she felt in that moment. However, practical problems soon troubled Ashley's mind. How could she have feelings for two people at the same time? Would the world understand such love? Especially for her, born and raised in America, the idea of one woman falling for two men was completely foreign, even if intellectually understood. Furthermore, Malik and Kai had been like friends since childhood. If they both came to love the same person, could they truly coexist without problems? The conflict erupted fiercely one evening as the three were leaving after dinner. Kai mustered his courage first and told Ashley, "I've really grown to like you, Ashley. At first, I just thought you were an interesting person, but now I feel like I can't be without you." Malik quietly interjected, "I feel the same way. But we're friends, you know that. If the three of us get entangled like this, it could get complicated." Kai retorted, "So we should just give up? Friendship is important, but my feelings are important too." As their argument grew increasingly emotional, Ashley, holding back tears, cried out, "Stop it. I don't want to see you two fighting because of me." Instantly, Kai and Malik seemed to hold their breath, turning to look at Ashley. Her voice trembled, but it carried sincerity. "Actually, I think I have feelings for both of you." Both of you are precious to me, so precious I can't imagine letting either of you go. But, is this right? At her confession, Malik put a hand to his forehead, looking confused, while Kai wore a pained expression. It was an unexpected confession, a moment where the love triangle was laid bare. Paradoxically, however, it was also the beginning of honesty. No one was lying, hearts were revealed. As they cautiously talked it through, they reached one conclusion: the fact that in this part of South Africa, among some tribes, polyandry, where a woman marries multiple men, was customarily accepted. Malik and Kai knew this custom very well. In one of our tribes, Malik explained, if a woman wishes, she can take multiple husbands and form a family. Of course, not everyone readily accepts it, but it's a tradition passed down for hundreds of years. Ashley asked with a trembling voice, then, could we possibly do that? Of course, it's daunting right now. It's an unfamiliar culture, there's societal judgment. But I don't want to lose either of you. Malik paused, looking serious, then slowly nodded. If that's the path you want, Ashley, Kai and I are willing to consider it together. It's not fully legalized here, but if we receive recognition at the tribal custom level, it would at least be permitted within the community. That night, Ashley Carter lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Could I really choose such a radical form of marriage, one difficult to accept in the United States, or even in many other Western countries? Yet, a part of her heart had already made the decision. She wanted to believe that true love wasn't bound by institutions, nationality, or customs. But reality wasn't simple. As Ashley's assignment period neared its end, her American head office ordered her immediate return. Her heart was already leaning towards Malik and Kai, but she couldn't disobey the sudden recall order. The night before her departure, the three spent time together late into the night. Kai and Malik, feeling both jealousy and affection for each other's presence, conveyed their sincere feelings to Ashley. Ashley, too, shed tears, lamenting the farewell. I'll definitely come back. I need to sort things out with my company and rethink my life. As Ashley said goodbye, Malik quietly took her hand. We'll wait. We have no choice but to wait. Kai forced a smile and added, we wish we could go to the States too, but it's not easy. So instead, we'll be waiting here. And so, Ashley Carter left for the United States. Back in New York City, she applied for a long-term leave of absence from her company and vaguely told her family she had received an offer for additional research in Africa. Her parents were initially bewildered, but seeing Ashley's firm resolve, they couldn't forcefully stop her. Of course, they wondered why she was so fixated on Africa, but she merely smiled softly instead of answering. After a brief preparation period, Ashley Carter flew back to South Africa. The moment she was reunited with the two men at the airport, her suppressed emotions burst forth like a dam breaking, and tears streamed down her face. Malik and Kai took turns embracing her, whispering, "You really came back. It feels like a dream." Now, the three had to make a decision. Both Malik and Kai loved Ashley, and Ashley couldn't give up either of them. Following the long-standing custom in their community, they confessed the situation to the tribal elders and received permission to proceed with a marriage ceremony. Of course, from a modern perspective, this polyandrous marriage wasn't perfectly legally recognized, but the local elders acknowledged the sincerity of the three individuals. If you truly care for each other, we will not oppose this love, they said. The wedding was simple yet mystical. Instead of a white wedding dress, Ashley wore a colorful cloth adorned with local traditional patterns, and leather and bead accessories decorated her neck and arms. Tribal elders chanted blessings, and villagers danced to the rhythm, celebrating the couple's, or rather, the trio's, special day. Ashley first held hands with Malik, then with Kai. The ceremony concluded by burying 3 white pebbles together in the ground. The people cheered without any particular suspicion. For them, although a rare sight, it wasn't entirely unfamiliar, and more importantly, their hearts were opened by the sincerity the three showed. Ashley tearfully exchanged vows with both men. Rings or bracelets symbolizing each other were placed on the 3 individuals' fingers. After the wedding, the 3 began living together in the same house. Situated near a wide field, the house offered views of the grasslands from the window, and the star-filled night sky was breathtaking. Initially, there were minor conflicts. For example, if Ashley was laughing and joking with Kai one day, Malik might feel a pang of jealousy. Or when Malik was having a deep conversation with Ashley, Kai might feel somewhat excluded. However, these didn't always escalate into fights. Whenever they quarreled, the three would calmly sit together and honestly express their feelings. Sometimes blunt words were exchanged: "I feel like I'm being monopolized right now," or "Why am I being put second?" But ultimately, they acknowledged their faults and reconciled. Amidst this, Ashley started feeling lethargic and nauseous for over a month. At first, she thought it was just an upset stomach from the local food or water, but the symptoms worsened. On a hunch, she took a simple test and discovered she was pregnant. This news brought immense joy. "Wow! Are we really going to be dads?" Kai exclaimed, dancing with excitement. Malik, with a look of profound emotion, murmured, "This is a miracle." "Thank you, Ashley." Ashley felt happy yet initially confused. The question, "Who is the baby's father?" crossed her mind, but she quickly answered herself, "What's important is that the three of us will raise this child together. There's no need to distinguish whose child it is." The three decided to take joint responsibility for the child. The tribal elders also offered their blessings, hoping the baby would grow up healthy. When news of the marriage spread, reactions were varied. Of course, there were those who condemned it or looked at them strangely. One woman marrying two men? Does that even make sense? Some whispered. Others, particularly outsiders, expressed displeasure, saying, "This is a misinterpretation of tradition." However, the villagers themselves were relatively tolerant. This was not a community lacking in love, the sense of mutual help and communal living was strong. As people gradually observed how genuinely the three treated each other, they began to view them more positively, remarking, "They truly care for one another." While waiting for the baby, Malik worked on a nearby farm to support the family, while Kai earned money through tourism-related volunteer work and various odd jobs. Ashley utilized her journalism experience and language skills from America to act as a small-scale correspondent locally. She generated some income by sharing local African news and tourist information online, dedicating her remaining time to prenatal care. One day, Ashley informed her family back in the States about the pregnancy during a video call. Her parents were utterly shocked. When they asked, "Marriage? Who is he?" she found it incredibly difficult to say she had married two men. But eventually, she felt honesty was the best policy. Her parents initially reacted with fierce opposition and bewilderment. But when Ashley tearfully insisted, "This is my choice, and I'm truly happy," they fell silent for a while. Then, almost sobbing, they replied, "Just take care of your health. We are still your parents." It wasn't complete understanding, but they seemed to accept Ashley's determination to follow her own path. Throughout the pregnancy, Malik and Kai stayed by Ashley's side constantly, caring for her. "If you feel sick at night, wake me up. I'll be right here to help," Malik would frequently check. Kai would say, "If there's any fruit or spice you're craving, just tell me. No matter how far, I'll get it for you." Amidst such devoted care, Ashley safely gave birth to a baby. The baby had brown skin, dark eyes, and let out a healthy cry. Malik and Kai took turns holding the baby, sharing their joy. "We're fathers." Ashley watched them, tears streaming down her face. An overwhelming happiness and emotion, unlike anything else in the world, washed over her. After the baby's birth, the trio's life became busier but also filled with greater joy. Since all three participated in childcare, they could take turns resting and divided roles to care for the baby. Ashley resumed contributing to online media to continue her unique journalism career. Malik cultivated the fields near their home, providing a steady supply of food and income. Kai took charge of tourist guiding and event planning, gradually attracting more visitors to the village. Villagers who saw the baby smiled, saying, "What a blessed child. An embodiment of the love of three people." Ashley did sometimes worry about how to answer if the child grew up and asked, "Why do I have two daddies?" But she figured she would just be honest when the time came. She'd explain without lies that there are diverse forms of families in the world, and theirs is one special kind. And undeniably, the child would be enveloped in love deeper than anyone else's. Of course, not every moment was smooth. Occasionally, visiting journalists would take an aggressive stance, asking, "Does it make sense for a woman to live with two men?" or posing insulting questions to Ashley. But each time, the three calmly tried to convey their sincerity. "We believe love doesn't need a specific framework. The three of us have respect and trust for each other. And we feel fulfilled raising this child together." As they consistently opened their hearts and explained, some remained unconvinced, but others began to reconsider, thinking, perhaps it's possible. Whenever Ashley had free time, she delved deeper into researching the tribe's culture and polyandry-related materials, writing articles to inform the outside world. She conveyed the message that forms of love are diverse and shouldn't be confined within specific systems or prejudices, learning continuously herself. Malik and Kai, after reading Ashley's writings, also reflected on their relationship and discussed how all three could find happiness together. When the child was around 3 or 4 years old, they already started distinguishing between their parents but sometimes ran to both men shouting "Daddy," and wanting to be held by both simultaneously, a cute and endearing sight. The three always burst into laughter watching that scene. Just seeing the child grow up healthy gave them the strength to endure any criticism or judgment. "I've learned that family isn't just formed by blood, but by people who care for and take responsibility for each other," Ashley said one night to Kai and Malik under the star-studded sky. Looking at their sleeping child, she added, "This child will always be showered with the love of three people. Don't you think that's the warmest environment in the world?" Malik held Ashley's hand and nodded. "That's right. Being with you, and with my friend Kai here, I finally feel my life is full." Kai replied with a witty smile, "Isn't it amazing? Who would have thought the three of us would become like this? But now, we're bound together more tightly than anyone." Living together, they realized that acknowledging their differences was another form of love. When Ashley explained American culture, Malik and Kai listened intently. Conversely, when they spoke about local traditions and tribal culture, Ashley showed deep interest. Thus, individuals from different backgrounds were becoming a true family under one roof. A long time after the child was born, Ashley invited her parents from the States to visit. Initially strongly resistant, her parents' hearts were swayed by Ashley's earnest request and photos of their grandchild. "Let's go just once. Then we can at least see for ourselves," they thought as they boarded the plane. When her parents arrived, the two men, Malik and Kai, greeted them respectfully. The parents wore stiff expressions, clearly experiencing culture shock. But when the child innocently ran up and hugged them, calling them Grandpa, Grandma, the walls they had built up began to crumble slightly. Spending a few days together didn't completely erase the awkwardness, but they could feel firsthand how much affection the family members had for each other. Ashley's mother spent one day picking fruit in the fields with Malik and another day being shown local shops by Kai. Although it was an unfamiliar scene in many ways, seeing her daughter living happily brought her a degree of peace. Just before returning home, Ashley's parents said, "If you're truly okay here, we respect the path you've chosen. Just take care of your health, and invite us over sometimes." It wasn't a perfect blessing, but it was a huge relief for Ashley. She no longer had to hide, defying her family's disapproval. The three grew into important members of the village community. Kai ran traditional culture experience programs for foreign tourists, engaging cheerfully with those facing language barriers. Malik collaborated with other farmers to improve crop quality, contributing to the village's economic development. Ashley shared stories of their life with the world through online articles and reporting, while also attracting small projects to support local development. The way people viewed the three initially involved much curiosity and doubt, but over time, the belief that they genuinely care for each other solidified. Occasionally, they even heard people say, "I wish I could express love as honestly as them," or "Their courage not to fear prejudice is admirable." Once, a foreign media outlet came to interview them. When a reporter bluntly asked, "Isn't this ultimately a relationship where the woman benefits?" Ashley replied firmly, "This isn't a relationship where one person unilaterally benefits, but a form where three people equally share love and live together. The three of us, as spouses, make daily efforts to communicate equally, emotionally, and economically. We discuss and resolve conflicts immediately so no one feels left out." The reporter had nothing more to say, and the villagers nodded in agreement. Over time, their marriage had endured. They were no longer peculiar curiosities but an established family in the village. The child grew, receiving different kinds of love from three parents. When the child told friends, "I have two dads at home," the friends were initially surprised but soon got used to it with childlike innocence. Looking up at the night sky, Ashley often felt her heart swell with emotion. It was a sense of stability she hadn't felt during her successful career back in the U.S. Now, the fact that she had two husbands and a child they raised together didn't feel awkward at all. Instead, the warmth and bond this special family structure provided were precious beyond words. Sometimes, friends from back home contact her, asking, "Is it really true you married two men?" Ashley always answers with a bright smile, "Yes, and we love each other immensely." It might be hard to understand from the perspective of American norms or prejudices, but I found true happiness here. She knows many people still don't fully understand. But Ashley no longer shrinks under others' gazes. Her conviction in the path she chose and the power of the love they build day by day are too strong. The child might later ask, "Mom, why did you marry two men?" Even then, Ashley will explain clearly, "Love doesn't only exist within prescribed molds, dear. Mom genuinely loved two people simultaneously, and they felt the same way. So, the three of us gathered our courage and decided to live together." Although it's an uncommon path, it was a way to avoid hurting each other and instead feel deeper consideration and happiness. When that day comes, perhaps the child will nod and accept it. Having grown up experiencing their daily lives, the scene created by their mother and two fathers will feel natural and normal. Ultimately, this story isn't just a shocking tale of one woman loving two men simultaneously. Its essence lies closer to the message that love can transcend human-made frameworks and limitations, and that for different beings to find happiness together requires constant dialogue, respect, and courage. Ashley Carter, Malik, and Kai became a family based on the unique tradition of polyandry, but they also lived with their own unique worries and conflicts. Yet, despite any conflict, the crucial factor that overcame the subtleties of the triangular relationship was sincerity. All three tried to understand each other's hearts, and when times were tough, they shared their opinions honestly. The trust built this way bound them together like a strong rope. And beside them is a child, growing up bright and healthy. The child's very existence is the most beautiful proof that love, in whatever form, can sprout life and nurture it. By the standards of American society, they remain a difficult family to comprehend. But in a small village in South Africa, they are recognized as ordinary neighbors and colleagues who deliberate together on the village's development. Time changes everything. Someday, maybe the story of this family will become widely known. It wasn't an easy path, but I believe the love I chose is right. This happiness, living together, laughing, crying, holding each other, is something I wouldn't trade for anything. To these words, Malik responds with a calm smile, and Kai with a playful grin. The profound love that united the three continues to make them shine endlessly today. Thank you for watching today. If you found this video informative, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment.